work? Okay, that works. I think a little bit of light here is all we need. I have some really exciting news. So it's been, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today's Monday, so today's the 5th day that I'm here. I have 5 more days. So, again, it's important to keep your circle small, right? So, as a 25-year-old, I have had these brothers, these friends of mine for 10 plus years. We've all gotten along. Matter of fact, we never really got along until probably 5 years ago, like really close. And last night, one of our friends came over because obviously I'm staying at one of my best friend's houses, right? Like, again, I don't have friends in the other states, which sucks, and it's completely the truth. Here in Indiana, I have everybody. So I feel at peace. I feel great. I'm an extrovert and I'm a social person. And I want that. It's to me, it's like I don't really need anybody else to be in my life because people are fake nowadays anyways, right? Going back to the story here. One of my best friends came over to this house where I'm lucky enough to be staying in, where one of my best friends has bought his first house, moved out on his own, and has really only stayed one night here by himself. Awesome, whatever. And we were just all playing like Switch golf last night, and like it was just fun. It was just like just vibing out with the homies and everything, having a couple beers. And the one that came over was like, "Oh yeah, hey, so and so, I think you found your roommate." And it was like that surreal kind of statement there because genuinely, I've had roommates in the past and they've all been strangers. And the number one rule that I've always been taught is to never have your friends as roommates. But I'm going to say that is the most far from the truth statement I've ever had. Because the guy that bought this house is my best friend. We also have other friends because he likes his interests, I like my interests. One of the coolest things is that, like, I'm very respectful of people's stuff because when people are respectful, when I'm respectful of their stuff, they're normally respectful of my stuff. And that's one thing that me and him really share, is that we're respectful of each other's boundaries. So, like, one thing that I told him is that, like, I had a roommate that if I ever bought anything, he would just take everything and wouldn't even ask. Versus, like, him and I had this connection. We played ball with each other for probably not a few, it's like more like 7 years. And we get each other, which is really cool. And it's actually really fun to live with him because he has a similar interest, but he also has a different interest, and he also does different things for work. So it's like that common, like, wow, this is really fucking cool. And, you know, it's like, obviously, like, right now I'm on vacation, so I'm home alone. And I'm not disrespecting his place whatsoever. Matter of fact, I'm almost treating it as if it was my house, which is, like, make sure it's top-notch, super clean, smells great, and everything is in a line. And we've not had one argument. I mean, that's the one thing, is that I think a lot of people need to understand is that this isn't a situation that most people have, because I've heard other stories where best friends are just clashing at each other and they end up they don't become friends anymore, or they're not friends anymore. But I think me and him have such a cool dynamic where it's like, again, we know each other's boundaries, we know what each other likes, we ask each other questions to then further along what each other's interests are. Bam. Like, even last night was a huge thing. He simply asked everybody, me, the other guy, and him, if he could go play COD. Or if we cared. And we're like, no, go. Like, I want to watch my stuff. So he's like, all right. And then we asked the other guy, what are you going to do? He's like, I'm just going to go home. And he was perfectly fine with that because he was already tired. So you see what I mean? It's a perfect dynamic. I think as long as you have a perfect dynamic with somebody, you can move in with them and you can cherish life. Now, obviously, we made this a rule because obviously I don't want to live here forever. He's allowing me, or this was an option. He was considering to allow me to stay here and move here for about $800 a month. The only bad part is I don't know if I would have garage space, and that was one thing that I really wanted is garage space because I like to work with my car, and like if anything happens to it, you know, I just want to have my car in a safe spot. Which this, if the light turns on, this is the garage, and it's somewhat big enough, but he does have plans with it. And here's the thing, I'm not trying to make this video super long, but I'm trying to get you guys to understand everything that's happened so far in the last 24 hours. The offer, an option was, it wasn't permanent, like, here's an offer. He's like, how much do you think realistically you'd spend as rent here? I was like, maybe 500 or 600. He's like, I was thinking more like 800. I was like, oh, okay. But he's like, utilities included. I was like, oh, that's not bad at all. Just maybe the garage space wouldn't be applicable, which is kind of like, because I really love my car in the garage. You know, I got a nice car. I understand that maybe I shouldn't have gotten that at such a young age where I don't have my own place. But like, that's my passion. That one of my passions has always been cars and then golf. Video games has been a pastime. So we don't know what's gonna happen. But the other news is that I also don't want to live here for more than 6 months because, and that's another great thing, is that I wouldn't have to sign like a lease or a contract. It would just be a maintenance of, and we both keep each other on track. It'd be like making sure I pay rent on time and all the other bills, and if I forget or I'm getting close to the day, he's going to ask me. Like we're very good on top of that. So he wouldn't want me living here for more than a year, which is perfectly fine. He's willing to let me move here to then find a place, which I'm like, that's not a bad freaking idea. $800 a month. I mean, yeah, it's not great, but it would literally be penny pinching to the penny and the dime and the nickel or the nickel and the dime and the quarter. I mean, it's going to be a lot. So I'm sorry that this video was a little bit long, but this is actually like true events of what's happened in the last 24 hours. I think today is like March 24th, 25th or something like that. So thank you all so much for watching. If you're in the same boat and you're trying to figure out if you can have a roommate that is your best friend, trust me, just understand each other's dynamics and you should be set. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you subscribe.